Micturition or urination is the process of emptying the urine from the storage organ, namely the urinary bladder. The detursor is a smooth or involuntary muscle of the bladder wall. The urethral muscle consists of the external and internal sphincter. The internal sphincter and detursor muscle are both under autonomic control. The external sphincter, however, is a voluntary muscle under the control of voluntary nerves. The bladder normally accommodates up to 300 to 400 ml in adults. When the bladder is distinct, it sends signal to the brain, which is perceived as the bladder full sensation. The process of emptying the urine into the urethra is regulated by nervous signal from both somatic and autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system comprises both sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. The filling phase is characterized by voluntary contraction of the external urethral sphincter and the sympathetic contraction of the inner urethral sphincter. Urethral reflexes also play a part in inhibiting involuntary bladder emptying during this process. The efferent are all conveyed through the pelvic nerves to initiate a spinal reflex. The micturition or emptying phase displays a coordination relaxation of the inner and the outer urethral sphincter, under sympathetic and somatic regulation respectively, with strong contraction of the detursor muscle due to the parasympathetic impulse. Micturition is thus characterized by a relaxation of striated sphincter, relaxation of smooth muscle sphincter and opening the bladder neck, and detursor contraction. During micturition, urinary flow is assisted by additional detursor contraction and external sphincter relaxation, which further lowers resistance to the passage of urine. The abdominal wall and pelvic floor muscles also participate by increasing the force on the bladder to help achieve complete emptying. The act of micturition is an autonomic reflex at the level of the spinal cord. The control of this process is mediated via efferent signal from the stretch and volume receptor in the bladder, as well as from the muscle of the pelvic floor, the vagina or the penis, and the rectum, which inform the brain about the state of filling, initiating several spinal reflexes. These reflexes serve to inhibit micturition until filling is complete while activating the voluntary external urethral sphincter via pudendal nerve. Impulses from the filling bladder are carried to the spinal cord via pelvic and hypogastric nerve, whereas the pudendal and hypogastric nerve carry impulses from the neck of the bladder and urethra. The pontine micturition center in the brainstem is activated via efferent signal from the urinary bladder as it's filling. This center sends inhibitory impulses to the spinal reflex arcs to enable bladder voiding. In the absence of any other regulation during the filling or storage phase, the voiding reflex is off, but it's switched on the highest level when the bladder is distant beyond a critical point, activating the tension receptors in the wall. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. Please don't forget to subscribe and give us a like. Comment down below what video should we do next.